I would like to talk about iterative design and, in fact, iterative development as well. Now, iterative design and development is a sort of a cyclical process. Cyclical development is really not much different from traditional waterfall method. However, we attempt to condense development into several cycles, which are then comprised of a certain amount of time. So what this means is that after just a couple of weeks, depending on what your time frame is, we have a working version or a working prototype. And one of the main reasons for cyclical development is that stakeholders can then view this prototype, they can make changes to it, and then they can send it back to the developers. And this whole process continues until the finished product is in total agreement with everyone on the team. Now, most rapid application development tools depend on this model. So Scrum, Kanban, which are all part of the agile development models, they all depend on some type of cycle. Now, iterative design and development actually begins at the design phase. In fact, we don't even need to start development as yet. Just look at the design that you have in front of you, and you may, in fact, pick up on early issues. As an example, a design might have a flawed DLL, or we may look at the input validation. We need to, show this design to other users, other people on the team, and they may find issues. They may notice issues. Like I said, there could be a flawed DLL. Someone may look at your input validation and say, hey, we're missing a particular range for the input values. Someone may notice these issues, and these issues can get addressed early on in the development phase. So this entire process is repeated for each sprint until all of the issues are resolved. So in terms of secure coding and defensive programming, we are eliminating potential hazards in the application before it even gets to the final release. So what are some of the advantages of iterative design and development? Well, I've already mentioned some. Those early problems can be addressed, and we can make sure that we are not releasing insecure code. But also the feedback that we get in an iterative design and development type of environment is more meaningful. Developers tend to be logical and analytical. So if we are as precise as possible with the feedback, then those issues get fixed faster. In other words, there's no room for interpretation as in the waterfall method. Now, because we have these shorter development periods, at the end of which we do have something to show, which is the prototype, as I mentioned before, this in itself helps provide focus for the team. In other words, because of this cyclical development, design and development, we avoid scope creep, or we tend to avoid scope creep.